Okay, it's spring. This show is about growing up in Oklahoma. So we're going to do a reboot, a revamp of an earlier episode about Oklahoma's state mammal, the tornado funnel. We did a previous episode with a good buddy of the show before we really got our hands around how to do a podcast, how to edit a podcast, what to say on a podcast, what a podcast was. So we're coming up to bat again. More stories and more details, and we're doing it with the dudes from Fried Okla. We're going to do that right now. All right, fellas, welcome in.
Hey, how's it going?
Thanks. Glad to be here.
Okay, I've got the guys from Fried Okla, my favorite Facebook page. If you want to know about Oklahoma, head up their page. They were on a previous episode, well, two previous episodes. One was about the state fair that really killed, man. That was funny. It's a great time with you guys and your insights. It's funny because we kind of stair step in age. I'm the old man, and it kind of trails behind me. But that state fair, man, nothing changes. It was the same experience for all three of us in three different states.
The Oklahoma State Fair is the gift that just keeps on giving.
We need to do part 2 next September.
We should. I'll do it live from the state fair. I will sit at the state fair and do it.
That is a fantastic idea. So we had another episode on the Halloween episode about what it was like trick-or-treating in Oklahoma. And once again, we stair-step in age. And so my experiences when everybody's dressed like Pac-Man and Ghostbusters, and then we went all the way to Power Rangers, with our outfits. One of us decided to get pissed drunk in the middle of that. So we kind of tailed off, but it was a fun episode.
It was.
One of us got pissed drunk before that. You gotta watch those natty daddies. It turns out they're like 8 or 9% alcohol on that.
Yeah, the good old days of having 3-2 beer in Oklahoma.
Right. We wobbled through that, and then wheels kind of fell off. Boucher came in out of the bullpen and closed us out, so we did great, man. Nobody cares.
Live to fight another day.
I could never listen to the episode because I was too cringed out by it. So, some other people listen. Some other people listen to it, said it's fine.
It is funny. Get a guy a little lubed up sometimes. It doesn't hurt.
There's a lot of lubed up.
Dean Martin made a career of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He absolutely did.
Fair enough. So did Amy Winehouse.
Ooh. Well. Ooh. All right. All right. Tell everybody where to find you.
Oh, yeah. You find us at Fried Okla on Facebook. We got TikTok. I think just Facebook /Fried Okla. Same thing, TikTok. We have Instagram. We don't really post there much. Mostly TikTok and Facebook. So
clever name. Look, this is a national audience, and so if silly nonsense is what you're looking for, these guys they come with both barrels. It's a great follow. So check them out, fellas. We are talking about the state sport of Oklahoma, dodging tornadoes. Springtime. Let's dive into it.
Yep. All right, let's go.
So, look, tornadoes, it's almost like they have the personality trait, the background music. When I would hear the sirens, it's like, man, that's the song of my people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I like to get outside and just take it in when that happens, like taking the atmosphere, the low pressure, temperature change, the screams,
Ears pop.
Yeah.
Hey,
your ears pop.
What is that? You guys are, knee deep in it. I grew up in Oklahoma. You go outside and you can feel it in your chest, even if it's not violent weather, but it's coming.
Oh, yeah.
It's just different.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
You can smell it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's hindsight, but every time there's been like a major tornado near me, I've like in hindsight been like, I felt that. I knew that was going to happen. The pressure, whatever it may be. And that just might be some like Okie thing where I'm just like, I knew that was going to happen. Like, but yeah, I felt it in my knee.
Yeah. Right. So you guys have some history with storm chasing, right?
Yeah. So Garth does. I haven't really storm chased near as much. I've just more or less been like in the path of it. But
and they chase you?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like before Garth and I actually knew each other in 2013, I believe you were in the tornado that was out by the Grand Casino. And I was like half a mile away running from this thing.
Yeah, it was, I can tell you the exact date. It was May 19th of 2013.
Yep.
Yeah. It was a huge one. I didn't have anything cool back then, or like radar on my phone. Just listening to the radio. Get through a hail core. You're getting off the exit there for Grand, and you see tree, tree, tree. Oh my God! The biggest tornado you've ever seen in your life is just there.
See,
yeah,
You're so close to it. You can see grass and whatnot getting ripped into the funnel. It was absolutely insane.
Mine was
Actually, that's on my personal YouTube.
Yeah. Mine was a little bit.
That's the one that took out part of an elementary school in Moore.
I think it was a couple days before.
No. It was one day before. The next day was the 20th, and it got 2 elementary schools in Moore, unfortunately.
Oh, so the next day after that one was the one. Yeah, boy, that was tough. Took out a big part of a class at Plaza Towers.
Yeah, tragic day. But we could see that one too from the airport where we worked.
Let's go back a little bit. When I was a kid, the weather god in Oklahoma, Gary England.
Oh yeah, he saved us.
Yep.
Yeah, you'd hear
love Gary.
Yeah, man, you'd hear the sirens and like, well, do we go to the safe place or do we go to check out Gary and stay with 9? We'll keep you advised. Center part of the house, lowest level, no windows. We all know it. But I remember in school. Remember the drills in elementary school?
Yeah.
We get out in the hallway and
cover your head up.
Put your head between your knees.
Right.
Clearly, need to revisit that. I think it's different now.
I hope that's been advanced some since.
Yeah.
Again, that tragedy and more. That's rough.
Yeah, I think a lot of schools around that time, post that tragedy, really took tornadoes more seriously. I know around that time it was like, hey, there's going to be severe weather. We're going to come get your kids, but that's not always possible. People have jobs, right? So, but post that, like they have tornado fortified areas inside the school. Like my daughter's school, they have areas, it's center area of the school that are kind of fortified to take that. Now EF5 is insane. So,
right.
Might not handle it.
Well, back then, well, not then, but before, like when I was a kid, Gary England, he declared war on it. Like, was there anything more terrifying than him sternly yelling, "Get below ground!"
Oh
now?
Yeah. If Gary England mentions your town and his voice raised a little bit, you better be in the ground already. Like,
but nowadays they'll do the path. They have it down to such a science. They'll say it's going to hit the south parking lot of the high school.
Yeah,
right where it is.
Yeah,
and there's so many trackers now.
The way it's evolved throughout just my life, and even more so through Scott's, is like I remember Gary England being at my school in the auditorium and showing, on the big screen, of some storm chasers in Kansas, and they get up underneath a bridge with another small family. Tornado just goes right over them, and he told us all, if you're on the highway and a tornado's coming, get up under the bridge.
Yeah.
And then 1999 happened,
right?
May 3rd,
and they told that was May 3rd. That day, everybody got up underneath the bridge. It's what you're taught to do, and it sucked people right out of that bridge. Yeah. So now it's hey, we told you to do that.
Well,
don't do that.
In their defense, that was the biggest tornado ever at the time. So that was the fastest wind speeds ever recorded on Earth were in
today
Moore, Oklahoma.
In my little hometown.
Crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Where Dana Plato came to OD and where the largest wind speeds or the fastest wind speeds ever been recorded. It's quite a legacy.
Toby Keith.
Yeah.
And Toby Keith. What are you going to do? Now they have so many trackers. They have, a grid of people out there telling you what's happening in real time. Before it used to be like, hey, the storm is heading towards, McLeod. And you're kind of taking their word that that's happening. But now they got 5 trackers on the ground saying, hey, I'm on 56th Street. I'm looking north. The tornado is on the ground, a half a mile from me and stuff, which is great for people who live in those rural areas. I think I've grown up in the kind of rural areas of Oklahoma, and pre 2010, it felt like once the tornado passed the metro, you were just like fending for yourself. You were just like, okay, I don't know where this is, so it's like, I'm just going to stand outside.
Well, when I was a kid, every time one came, Val on the CBS affiliate he'd be out at 240 and Sooner Road. There's a stop sign dancing behind him.
Oh, yeah.
And he's just trying to talk above the storm to Gary. Gary, is it a mesocyclone, Val? Val? It cuts off and poor Val's going to get a board to the head. It's a little
The
different now.
Dominators, the armored vehicles that they drive to the tornadoes, they have like outriggers that dig into the ground and armored glass, things like that. But on at least 4 occasions, I've been making like a Facebook Marketplace deal for like a old guitar or something, or you would only find on Marketplace on a day where there's going to be bad weather, and had the Dominator come park near me. And it, if that doesn't send some like fear of like, hey, I'm probably in the wrong place right
Mad
now.
Max.
Yeah. No, that's what it looks like. Yeah, they look like a Mad Max vehicle, and they just come and drive those things right into the storm.
Good Lord.
Reed Timmer, if you're in town doing something and Reed Timmer pulls up in the Dominator, you better just head home. You better get home and shut her down.
If you grew up when we did, chances are your best memories are sitting on a VHS tape somewhere. Birthday parties, family reunions, even that first camcorder Christmas morning. But those tapes don't last forever. That's where the Digitize Center comes in. They convert your old VHS tapes, camcorder tapes, reel-to-reels, photos, slides, smoke signals into high-quality digital files, so you can actually watch them again and again and share them with the people who matter. Don't let those moments fade away in a box in the attic. Not the people, the milestones, not the memories. Head over to thedigitizecenter.com, check out thousands of 5-star reviews, and make the call to preserve your story. Use promo code FREENIGHTS for 60% off your order. That's FREENIGHTS for 60% off. Bring those memories back to life before they're gone for good. Oh, God. Can you ask him frantically? Is it a Maslow cyclone? Like, ugh.
Yeah.
That's from sitting Indian style in front of an old console TV.
Yeah. Old tube TV.
Speaking of advances in chasing, how about Jim Gardner getting that close to tornadoes in a helicopter, catching a hailstone through his canopy?
I didn't
You guys
hear
remember that?
No.
Yeah, it's actually insane. They're getting very brave with those helicopters. I would not I want to be there.
You remember when he got his windshield broken?
Yeah.
He got too close to a hailstorm?
There's a cord near the tornado, I believe, right?
Yeah.
And he's just filming a tornado and happened to fly like right into a hailstorm.
Yeah, and then old Tornado Payne kept barking orders at him, and he started cussing him out. Said, "I'm going to land. The hell of you." It's a good video.
We got to find a clip
find
of
it.
that. There's got to be a clip of
there is.
that.
Yeah.
It is good.
So let's talk about a couple of things here about the tornadoes themselves. Do you remember the after the big storm feeling?
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
several
Yeah,
minutes later, you'll see like a leaf fall. The sky's kind of a weird color and everything looks different, and that the pressure's off the chest like it wasn't, but it's still weird.
Yeah, it's an eerie feeling.
In 99, I was off Shields, right? We talked about this before, in like 55th Street or whatever, 50th Street. And the May 3rd, was just a few miles north of us there, or south of us, sorry. And I remember being outside. My dad was listening to Gary on his 85 Blazer, K5 Blazer. And we're just sitting outside listening. Hailstorm had already blown through. And like, you can like, even from there, you hear like a rumble in the distance. And just a stillness, like just sitting there. And it's like the birds are gone. The wind has calmed down. There's hail on the street. You start to hear people get out and start drive around and things. But it's always like a calm after the storm, right? I mean, I guess that's why they say that before and after. It's eerily peaceful.
Yes, that's a great way to put that.
Smells like ozone.
I was I worked for a paging company. That's how old I am. In was it 1999 when the May 3rd tornado came through?
Mm.
Yep, 99. That's the storm. That's the one that it went between my parents' house where I grew up and that big First Baptist Church on 27th Street and Moore. Went right through there. On the other side of I-35 is a lot of industrial warehouse buildings there. Well, that's where our not to get too far in the weeds here, but that's where our terminal was for the pagers. So every page that went through, and some piggyback cell phones would go through that terminal and through our towers. And so I had to sit there for 4 nights overnight and nursed the generator, diesel fuel. And so I sat on the roof of my car and watched across I-35 at all of the rescue workers still digging through the rubble. Throughout all hours of the night, I heard helicopters. I heard those generated stadium lights out there, and it was just the weirdest, like, out of body kind of deal, because that's the little town I grew up in. I could see, the street that went to my parents' house on one way, their church on the other side, and then just flat and rubble. And I spent, like I
Yeah.
said, the better part of a week there every night, just hearing the roar of that generator and wondering, like, good Lord, this is like a war zone.
Yeah. I remember the next day, my family was like, "Hey, we're gonna go drive to my uncle's who lived in off of like 12th Street in Moore." And we were heading that way, and for whatever reason, they decided to go down sooner, which was like in the
Mhm.
middle of the destruction path. I just remember seeing like bare dirt, asphalt was even pulled up in some spots. And, as a child, I didn't know like the scaling for tornadoes. And I thought every tornado was going to be like that after that for a long time. Um, but there's just the destruction. Like, just it looked like they put houses in blenders. And a blender that would destroy the house but leave the
Isn't that
kitchen
the
table
weirdest
sitting
thing?
where it
Yeah.
was. It's just absolutely
Yeah, that's what
insane.
the weather guys would always say in the aftermath is like, look at this, like these dining room tables, and this is where you need to be if you can't get into a closet.
Yeah. Plates.
Yeah.
Plates still on the
Wild.
tables there, and the whole house is
A gun safe in tatters. Like, you never know. It's just, yeah.
yeah,
The May 20th one, I was trying to get to my kids. They lived in Moore at the time with their mother. And I'll never forget going across the path of it where it went across the road. I think it was Telephone Road. Does that sound right?
Mm-hmm.
But either way, I'll never
yeah,
forget. Everything in your brain looks black and white, no color. And there's an above ground pool
yeah.
where all these houses are taken to their foundation, an above ground pool that is crystal clear and blue and looks like it's ready to be swam in.
Oh, wow.
In the middle of this carved out mile wide path.
It's
Like,
so
how
crazy.
how does that happen?
It's so crazy. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it looked inviting, and it was the
And
only thing that was blue.
I remember years later, like 2007, 2008, being in that area at somebody's house, and like the trees just like carried scars from it, and it's like they just never looked the same.
Right.
And you can see that everywhere, like down the road from me, down 177, where the 2013 tornado hit. It's just the trees are different. You can tell something is off
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, there were mangled cars in the trees over by the hospital in Moore after
Yep.
the way. It's just, it's wild. Also, car insurance in Oklahoma is through the roof because of that. They know every spring they're
Yeah.
going to lose a lot of them.
Yeah.
Well, that and uninsured
That and
drivers.
hail.
It needs to be another episode. Uninsured drivers of Oklahoma.
We've
could do
all
a
been a
whole
victim to
episode, I'm
one.
sure.
So,
Of both tornadoes and uninsured drivers.
so Garth, you've got stories. You've got actual in the field stories. Didn't you tell me when we were just chatting after the last episode that we did? Well, not the last one, the first one. That there's almost a tourism to
Yeah, there
storm
is.
chasing.
Yeah. I don't know if it's still a thing, but 10 years ago, it sure was. And yeah, it's crazy. They're in big old, Econoline Ford vans,
Uh-huh.
and there's like 3 of them in tow, and they're just full of people from different parts of the world just here to see a tornado, which is pretty wild in my opinion. And that May 31st one in El Reno almost got them.
Good. I mean, you want your
Was
money's
that-
worth, right? I mean, if you go on a safari, you want to see a lion, right? I mean,
Oh,
they
for
got their
sure.
money's worth.
Oh, yeah,
There's
for
been
sure.
so much tourism that actually the last major election, they tried to introduce the legislature to ban it. They tried to, I think, to require a license to be able to storm chase, which is a weird thing to say. Like, who are you going to say who's storm chasing or not? But it was to combat the tourism because,
Really?
like Gar said, there's just vans of people, going out and chasing tornadoes and like stopping kind of the local law enforcement and first responders and things from doing their job.
Yeah, chaser convergence is a real thing.
Yeah.
So I guess it makes sense. You would want. I don't know that you want to. I'm so tired of licensing everything. You know, if you want to go
Right. I
chase
mean,
one, chase it. Get on your horse and
That
go.
was
But
like, no matter what law you pass or whatever, nobody's handing out any tickets during a violent tornado. Like speeding,
oh, right.
running
That's a
stop
great
signs.
point.
Yeah, nobody is pulling your ass over. Matter of fact, on May 20th of 2013, I was trying to go south on I-35 from the airport, and there was a OHP had the on ramp to get on 35 from 240 blocked off. I just popped the curb, went right around him. Guess who didn't chase me?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, because I'm going
Right.
right towards what he's trying to avoid. It tried to make me avoid.
Yeah. It makes sense. So we're going to talk about the tiger in the room now, are we?
Sure.
The weirdest. I'm sitting on my couch in suburban Nashville, Tennessee, and I start seeing news reports about escaped tigers and jackals and tornadoes and floods and hail and what now? Like this was a couple of years before Tiger King, so it's
And there's quite a few.
oh. So tell it from me from where I was in Nashville, well, outside of Nashville. I saw this story, and then I start seeing memes pop up back home on Facebook of all my high school buddies. One had a movie poster from was it The Life of Pi, the Indian movie that had a tiger in his canoe and he's going to work in the flood, and it says "Bosses tomorrow be like get to work." There's
That's
a
pretty
tiger
good.
in the guy's boat. So that didn't happen.
The place got hit. No tigers were released. I think a bear.
Well,
Somebody double check me on that.
I heard someone say that there were reports like it got way out of hand, like they were swimming across the river to get up into like south of the airport.
Yeah, no,
And
it was just fun stories for the internet. That's all.
no monkeys, no hyenas.
Mate, that could be. I don't know. To the best of, and I'm just shooting from the hip here. I believe it was just a bear.
Way to pour water on this story.
No, it says right here.
Still terrifying.
This happened. This is different. This is different. Oh, I'm
What's
sorry.
different?
Never mind. This is Georgia. Never mind.
See, you
Cut that out.
You're
Just
digging,
cut that out.
dude. You're
Just cut that out.
Nope. It stays. It stays. We'll do it live.
I hate to say it, Garth. You're right, and that pains me to say.
No, it says here it was Macon. We were all wrong. Oh wait, that's not okay. Something completely different.
No, it was a fun story, but even the people in the comments on Fried Okla came out because we made funny posts about it. They're like, "This didn't happen. Take this down." I'm like, "Aren't you fun at parties? Piss off."
Yeah, listen
It's
here.
funny.
Listen
No,
here,
it's staying.
Esther. All right, you can chill. This happened.
Yeah, I wish it had been. What is it, Wynnewood, where our boy was?
Oh yeah. Yep. I've been there.
I wish it had been there.
I have too.
I've been there.
Yeah, I have too.
You've both been to.
I went there years before the show was the show was being filmed. Whenever I went.
No, when I went, it was
really?
like 2005.
Yeah, so in the show they talk about like they had the fire, they lost a bunch of film. That was pre whenever I went. So any film that I was there for or that they had captured prior to me being there in like 2012 or 13 had been destroyed. But yeah, the guy with no legs who talks about like being in a zip line accident. Yeah, he asked me. He was like, "How many of you guys like zip lines?" And I'm like the only person who raised my line. He's like, "I used to." And then like pointed to his legs. He's like, "Now how many of you guys like zip lines?" And I raised my hand again. Change my opinion.
It didn't matter to me at all. So hang on, this is our story. The you two went to what? Did you ever get to see Joe Exotic?
Yeah, I did.
He wasn't there whenever I was there. But
did you eat the steak pizza?
This is before the grandeur of the pizza parlor. I was coming back from a cruise that ported out of Galveston. So on the way back, you see all the rocks in the hill say GW Exotic, whatever. So my wife at the time and I pull off to check it out, and this guy at the register, unbeknownst to me, Joe Exotic, is giving me an earful about PETA and how they're a terrorist organization, and is showing me letters sent to him from PETA. And I'm just like, dude, just sell me the ticket. I want to see the Tigers. Looking back on it, I wish I had a 35 millimeter camera and taking a selfie with the guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Right. Was the mullet
Oh,
as
yeah.
glorious back then?
yeah, he was still weird as hell back then.
Mine
But
was
I
a
just
little bit
remember
different. Mine was a little different. I went to the Wilburton Wilderness, which is like a couple miles up the road. And it's like 200 acres.
Hang on a second. Hey, how many of these are there in Oklahoma?
Well, that's the only one that
Too
has
many.
tigers, I think. Oh, I take that back. I think there's another one in Broken Bow that might have tigers now. There's another wilderness in Broken Bow now. Broken
so these
Arrow.
tigers
Broken
are
Arrow.
living in India in the
South.
jungle and all the lush greenery, and they moved them to Oklahoma
Yeah.
where there's about 7 trees. They gotta love
Yeah.
it.
In the heat.
Yeah, more like steel
They got to
cages.
do with the heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would chew on that.
I'd
guy,
gone
too.
to the wilderness, the Arbuckle Wilderness.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
And they,
animals are
the
waiting on you.
commercials you always hear on the on like AM radio or something.
yeah, or the billboards. Our stars have stripes.
Yeah, something along those lines. But there's about 40 donkeys, a couple ostriches, and then a bunch of turtles. Lots of turtles.
they got
They
some
got-
giraffes.
But we went and
They
saw
got
that.
giraffes,
I drove
yeah.
through that. They do have giraffes.
Yeah.
I went through that. It was uneventful, not very fun. And I was like, oh, the GW thing is right down the road. Let's go there. And I walk
First of all,
in to
I'm not
pay.
going to have any blasphemy about Arbuckle Wilderness. So take that back.
Okay.
Sorry, carry on.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I enjoyed it there. I had my Jeep, and ostrich put its head over the top of my Jeep. But besides that, I walked into you have to go into the gift shop to pay at the Tiger King GW place.
Yep.
And they have I saw a tiger on about 4 TVs playing. And it's like lightning.
Oh, his video.
Yes, it's like lightning and him
Yeah.
standing there with a tiger and playing. And I was like, what is going on here?
It's like Planet Hollywood for the poor.
Yeah.
I just thank God for Florida, man, and Florida Man, because they get all the pub.
There's
for this nonsense.
there's some influence from Florida for sure. Like
Yeah.
Florida had
Joe
some.
Exotic got in
yeah,
trouble in Florida.
Look,
Yeah.
all I
we're
know
veering
is
off. We're getting off.
this
course
was
here.
this was the crescendo of the show. We were talking about tornadoes. We were talking about, we didn't get to like when we have out of town people in Oklahoma, and Saturday at noon they freak out because they don't
we
know.
can still
Oh.
get to that.
Oh, dude, I've
Yeah.
got some good stories about that too. They're funny.
Yeah, but then the crescendo of this show was going to be Tiger Dado, which turns out there was a bear who was probably just looking around, walked into Norman. Okay, that's disappointing. If you're enjoying the podcast, but you're getting that creeping, sad feeling that it's almost over, we got you covered. Don't put up with that empty, sinking feeling you feel when the podcast is over and you got to wait another week for a new one. Show everybody that you'll listen to anything with Free Nights and Weekends podcast swag. Follow the link and hit up the FNAW store. There's t-shirts, magnets, coffee mugs, other kind of mugs, whatever you need to show your fandom and support the show. I told my supplier to get me some fly swatters. Man, can you imagine slapping a fly with a Free Nights and Weekends fly swatter? Hopefully one day. But if you're itching for some handsome playing cards or feel embarrassed at the lake this summer without your Free Nights and Weekends can koozie, hit that link, load up, and be one of the cool kids. Happy shopping, and thanks for the support.
In 2015, I worked for Halliburton, and I was in a class with a bunch of people who just moved in from out of state, and this guy is just bragging about his new house, and he's going on and on about this new house. It was built in 2014 or late 2013, I think it was, and he's telling me all about it, and I'm like, "That's cool, man. Where do you live?" He's like, "I just moved to Moore." I was like, "Do you know why that house is new?" He's like, "No, they expanded some neighborhoods over here." I was like, "That house is new because that neighborhood was demolished." And he's like, No, it wasn't. I was like, "It absolutely was." And we looked up his neighborhood, and it was
Of
absolutely
course
on the
it
destruction
was.
path of the tornadoes in 13.
They have to divulge that. Like if someone was murdered in this house, or if God just thumped it off the face of the earth, shouldn't they have to mention that too?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. Maybe we talk to Stitt and get this in if it isn't, but that should be definitely divulged when you buy a house. Like, hey, an EF5 has touched ground here 6 times. I don't think I'm going to live there.
Yeah. Well,
Like El
there's
Reno.
an old movie that was already old and in the old bin before you were born. Robin Williams' World According to Garp, and they were looking to buy a house. They're standing in the driveway with the realtor, and they're thinking, I don't know, I kind of like it. And they're discussing like back and forth about the house, and out in the background of the scene, there's this old plane, and it's getting louder and louder. And all of a sudden, they look over their head. It smashes into the house, the very house they're looking to buy. And of course, Robin Williams' character says, "We'll buy it. What are the chances this will ever happen again?" Which is not the case with tornadoes in Moore, Oklahoma.
There's a tornado movie called Gummo. I don't know if you've seen that.
No.
Not a good movie. Not a good movie. Look it up. It's about a town in Texas that get hit
I
by
watched
a
the
tornado.
first 15 minutes of that, and that's about it. Yeah.
Tornado movie
Horrible.
called Gummo.
Horrible.
Can't recommend
Gummo.
it.
Yeah, there's like a scene of somebody like dry shaving their legs, and it's just the AMSR from it is so bad.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm going to check it out. Where's it streaming? Tubi?
No, you got to get worse than that. Like one of those rip-off pirating apps.
Yeah.
You have to watch it there.
Right, you got to download
Yeah,
a
go
torrent
Pirate
browser.
Bay.
Like, it's a
Yeah,
big
yeah,
deal,
yeah.
but if you want to see it, I can get you there.
That's a true story.
All right.
do you guys remember watching the Twister movie and then like recognizing parts in the movie, like
Yeah.
locations? Like, oh, that's Noble. I've been to that
Oh,
gas
yeah,
station
yeah.
before. Like, that was so great as a kid to be like, oh yeah, I've been there. I've seen
They
this
really,
happen.
it was kind of a crummy movie, but they did a great job with the local flavor and the throwbacks to Gary England with the wide tie in the 70s, and they did a good job
yeah.
with that.
And let me tell you something right now. Bill Paxton may have been the greatest actor at the
Yeah.
time. Bill Paxton was great. Probably his best movie, though. So that was probably peak Bill Paxton. It went downhill from there.
So how far from nonfiction is Dorothy in that whole getup?
I think it was very much unattainable or unreachable to do that at the time. We definitely do that now with drones and things like that, but not so much on the level of like shooting up Coke cans with sensors attached to them. That didn't happen. That's fake.
Yeah, well,
Maybe
Reed
not.
Timber's fired rockets.
It was
in them.
plausible.
Yeah. And drones, just flying drones
Yep.
straight into them.
Yeah. I guess I couldn't imagine that. They could imagine a guy like Paxton getting together with that harpy Mad About You blonde, but they couldn't imagine drones.
Yeah.
We were on the subject of outsiders here in the sirens, right?
Yeah.
At Tinker Air Force Base in 2001, we were in the chow hall. Of course, it's noon. And that one freaking airman you've known since basic training all the way through your tech school and all that comes kicking in the damn door like he's Johnny Save the Day. He's like, everybody listen. There's a tornado warning. Everybody needs to take shelter. And I was like, everybody just kind of like looks at him, takes another bite of their sandwich. It's like, dude, it is a bluebird sky outside, not a gust of wind.
Yeah.
Beautiful day. It's a test.
Okay. But when you Okies have a real storm come, you're not going to know what to do.
I don't know.
Maybe they will.
We can feel it in our ankles and knees. we know. I get this groin pain when there's going to be a storm. You know?
I saw a video of, I think it was Skytook or somewhere in that part of the state that had a little league baseball game. And in the distance was a funnel, probably F1, which does some, you could take a roof off, certainly tear up, brush. And the dude said, I think it coming this way. And they kept playing. Because it veered off and went, to take somebody's barn down.
Yeah.
So locals know how to handle it. The thing that really stuck with me from the biggest story, like the one I mentioned, where I had to babysit equipment that night. Yeah. Man, FEMA came and all I saw was Okies just when their house was fine, grabbing a shovel and helping their neighbor. And FEMA left early because nobody was coming to the trailers because we were busy, man. Everybody was, there was work to do. And that was just, it is the most rugged, best people on earth on that dirt.
It really is.
Yeah, not to mention just locals, but like Samaritan's Purse.
Yes,
I believe is the organization. Those guys suit up. I mean, they're Minutemen. Yeah. When they hear there's a tornado in Joplin or Moore, wherever it may be, those people are hopping in trucks on, a moment's notice and driving there with supplies, water, skid steers, whatever they think, tarps to get roofs. I've seen it in Shawnee, the 2021 tornado, maybe just a few years ago that hit Shawnee.
Yeah.
Those guys were here that night, and they came from Arkansas, and they were out there that night just covering roofs, pushing debris out of the way. So it's good to see stuff like that happen.
I think that's Franklin Graham's group.
I don't know
if Billy Graham's son.
Possibly.
Yeah. Glenn Beck has a big group too that does that, loads up stuff and helps out.
Yeah.
I believe it. But I'm so used to just seeing the community get out and help.
Yeah, that is just so heartening. Yeah.
This last storm that came through Shawnee, a couple months ago, I see people throwing their chainsaws in the bed of their trucks and just driving down the road and start clearing up people's front yards and driveways and things like that. People they didn't know.
Yeah.
Just because
that's the thing. There's something about growing up there, just in general. They're wired a little different. You learn what matters quick in times like that. Like you said, you stand in driveways when we shouldn't. Watch the storms when they're coming. It's part of television. You go outside and watch it. But when it's over, it's time to show up. Chainsaws, casseroles, neighbors, and it's not terrible.
No, it's a real thing.
Chainsaws and bourbon, just out there.
Yeah. Right. Well, sirens don't go off tonight. Get this thing edited when it passes by. If there's internet, we'll get it going.
Yeah. In that 2013 outbreak, it's a horrible bachelor party, but my buddy wanted to go to the batting cages around and more for his bachelor party, and he wanted to go to Texas Roadhouse before. The Texas Roadhouse on next to Crossroads Mall. So yeah, I mean, we're a little white trash. Okay, Texas Roadhouse is a night out.
Did you go to the batting cages right there on the south side of 240?
That was going to be the plan.
Yeah,
but we didn't make it. We're at Texas Roadhouse, and I give me a steak, 5 out of 10 steak from Texas Roadhouse, and some cinnamon butter rolls. And like as soon as they set it down, the waiter says, "Just so you guys know, the staff is leaving. There's a tornado on the ground, and it's kind of heading this way." I was like, "Oh, well, I need a to-go box. I got to go."
Right.
So yeah, we walk outside, and the tornado is like just south of us, in Moore. And like we get a little image of it. It's a little rain wrapped. Like, well, where do we go? Like, do I hop on 240 and take off and like let this thing run right into me, or do I go to Crossroads Mall? Well,
and you got shot instead.
I regret to say we made the decision to go to Crossroads Mall. We go into Crossroads Mall, and they take us into the kind of the back rooms.
What year was this?
This is 2013.
Okay,
yeah,
I didn't know the mall was still standing then.
Barely. I mean, the little shops and things at the time. It was not a lot going on there. But we go in there. They put us in like the back rooms, and there's a guy with one eye, and a young lady, I'm assuming is his daughter, sitting at the doorway. And I was like, "Hey, I don't know what's on the other side of that door, but if you guys would feel more comfortable sitting over where I am, I'll sit there." And this guy, without missing a beat, starts cussing me out and screaming at me in this hallway that I don't know what I'm talking about. Clearly a distressed man, maybe an autistic man, I don't know, screaming at me, cussing at me. And I was like, all right, man, whatever. Stands up, comes to like get over in my face and starts screaming at me. So I'm like, I'm ready to fight this guy while there's a tornado happening at Crossroads Mall. I'm trying to de-escalate this. I'm like, I don't want to hurt this guy with one eye. No depth perception, He's not gonna do anything to me. He's not gonna hurt me. But I don't want to beat up a one-eyed man at Crossroads Mall in front of his daughter
during a storm.
Right.
During a storm, Well, while this is happening, I had set my to-go box down, and somebody took my steak. And I'm not talking about like they took the box. I pick up this box and I'm like, oh, this is weird. It's light. I open it up and the steak is gone. I like just had this altercation with this guy.
Did they think the storm shelter was catered?
Yeah. But yeah, I sit back down and like, adrenaline's going. I'm going to munch on this steak, and I open it up. The steak is gone. There's mashed potatoes with fingerprints in it, where somebody scoops some mashed potatoes out. My steak is gone, and yeah, it was honestly, probably an average day at Crossroads Mall.
Right?
Now that I mention it, but
I've known you for a long time.
No idea.
How have I never heard this?
I've guarded this story.
Maybe the one-eyed guy was just like a decoy. Like
it might have been.
So
he saw
no
me come
shit.
in with that juicy Texas Roadhouse steak, and probably roll too. I'm sure I had a roll in there. Gone.
did you have to pay for the steak?
That's amazing.
Did I pay for the steak?
Yeah.
Yeah, I left some cash on the table whenever I left. So
Speaking of restaurants, the most gangster thing I've ever seen is that May 20th, 2013 Moore tornado. The Waffle House right there in Moore off I-35. I don't remember if it's like 19th Street. They had no power, like a window was blown out from this freaking storm. They are still open with no lights on, no electricity, but their gas burners still work. So they had a limited menu, and you could pay cash only. And they are still serving waffles and eggs and you name it. And like they made cowboy coffee on the flat top. And I swear to God, somebody came in there and complained that they couldn't get, something that needed electricity. But I was like, this place shouldn't be open at all.
As great as that is that they were open, those workers were pissed off. Those workers were ready to go home.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like cockroaches, man. The last thing standing is Waffle House and Jimmy's Roundup.
Let's take in once again about the eastern 2/3 of Oklahoma County, but near the intersection of Reno Street and Midwest Boulevard, out in this area here, tornado reported on the ground, and we do have a very strong indication on radar. So tornado warning continues for the eastern 2/3 of Oklahoma County. Once again, on precautions, if you haven't heard it, if you don't have a cellar or basement, go to the center part of your house. Lowest level, smallest room, preferably a closet or bathroom. Wrap yourself in a blanket, put a mattress over you.
It wasn't Tuttle.
It was Tuttle.
Wasn't it Norman?
No, it was the GW.
No, it wasn't the GW
Tiger thing.
No, it wasn't. It was in Tuttle. It was.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Jamie, pull that up.
And the funny thing is they got hit. No tigers got out. I think a bear got out. Yeah. No, it was not GW. GW
there is not a tiger place.
There's a tiger safari in Tuttle.
Right, we're gonna look this up.
Tuttle.
Oklahoma.
15 minutes from Oklahoma City.
Yes. I love the confidence.
Tiger. I thought it was Norman.
No.
Yes, I did. Newcastle. Tuttle. Was it cows? Are we sure it wasn't cows at Brahms?
Jesus. No.
Because that's no big deal. They just moo.
It was sensationalized. No tigers got blown up. Yep. Eat that.
All right. May 6, 2015. Tiger NATO at the Tiger Safari in Grady County.
You know what? Hey, Kenneth, I heard it on a local news station in Nashville, so I think I'm probably got the best source of information.
You guys are right. You guys are right. I'll take that on this one.
I made a Facebook post about it.
Fried Okla had T-shirts about it.
Dude,
tigers flying around. But it didn't happen.
It did.
Were there no tigers released?
No.
Well, the name would indicate perhaps there may be some tigers there.